Good morning. It's still morning. We have about 25-30 minutes before noon. Let's go for it. Let's actually start with balancing first. Before we get going, use your chair. Let's all stand up, and we're going to work on our balance just for about a minute on one leg. Think about your core. Stand tall on that one leg. That standing leg is bent just a little bit. Feet are flat, or foot is flat. Tighten up the tummy. Use the chair if you need it. If you can hold on with one hand, great. If you need two, then just make sure you move that chair into a position where you have two hands on it. And on occasion, raise one hand up and remove it, switching, alternating. If you're doing one hand, holding onto the chair, then on occasion release and then grab it as needed. And if you can handle it, don't use your hands at all. So you have options. All right, see what works best for you. Let's just wake up our nervous system a little bit with the balancing. Let's get that really in tune and dialed in. Again, standing tall, thinking about your core, sucking the stomach. Hold it for about another 20 seconds or so. You should really feel that foot moving around, the ankle really working, the calf really working. And it kind of comes up into the thigh and into the hip and into the glute, the hip, the butt. And it's a good thing. All those little stabilizer muscles are working on that standing leg. So it's a really, really good thing. If you're feeling it, it's a good sign. Hopefully you don't have any discomfort. If you do have some discomfort, then just take a little break and relax. And in fact, let's go to the other side. So same thing, other side. Stand tall on that one leg, just a little bend on that knee, that standing leg. Use the chair if you need it, either one hand or two, or none at all. Totally up to you. Pull in the stomach. Just focus on the balance. It also helps to have something to stare at. So a focal point of some kind, an object that's in front of you, anything that you can zone in on with your eyes and keep the focus. That does help as well with balance. And then, of course, your core. Standing tall. Try not to lean or bend forward. Be tall. Keep those abs nice and tight. Pull in the stomach. Just hold it. Stay there. For another 15 seconds. Keep holding. You should really start to feel that leg and hips starting to really work. Again, that's a good sign. We want to get to that point where we're really testing the boundaries of our stabilizer muscles so that when you're moving around in everyday life, you can handle it. This is the most challenging part, but it'll transfer to your daily life to make things easier for you. At least that's the goal, right? That's what we want. All right, let's go for it. Grab a pair of dumbbells. So today is strength, some dumbbell work, full body routine, a little bit of everything. First, we're going to start standing nice and tall. We're going to do both dumbbells at the same time. We're going to go for 12 repetitions. So standing tall. Shoulders are nice and back, right? So you want to make sure your posture is really tall. Shoulders back. Keep your elbows in tight to your body. Bring the weight up, right back down. And your palms are facing in the entire time, facing each other. And then you're bringing that dumbbell right to your shoulder. And then right back down. We're going to go for 12. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, suck in the stomach, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, one more, 12. Okay, put the weight down and have a quick seat in your chair. We're going to focus on some shoulder stabilization and some triceps. So you're going to have your hands on the side of your chair. So you're sitting down, and then your hands are actually right next to your hips, your bum, your glutes. And for me, I like to have my fingers hanging off the sides. But if you have a big enough chair and you're able to get your hands to point straight ahead towards your feet or your legs, that's fine as well. It just depends on the design of your chair. For me, it's easiest to get my hands to the side of my hips. And from here, I'm going to get my feet out a little bit in front of me, and my feet are flat. My legs are bent. I'm going to try to lift myself up through my arms and my shoulders and get my butt, my glutes, off the seat. And so you have to force yourself up off the chair through your shoulders and hold it. That's it. That's all you're trying to do. Now, it may be a little challenging through the shoulders. It may be a little tough. And if it is, then come down, take a break, and then try it again. Push yourself up. If you can hold it, great. If you can't, then this is what you're going to do. If you can't hold, you're just going to lift yourself up and then come right back down and take a quick break. Lift up, come right back down, take a quick break. Otherwise, if you can hold it and stay up, then hold. And really flex the back of your arms, your triceps, and hold. And you're kind of lifting the chest a little bit. And it's almost as if your body is forming a chair, right? Your thighs are like the seat of the chair. Your thighs are parallel. Your shins are like the legs of a chair. They're perpendicular to the ground. Your torso is like the backrest of a chair. It's also perpendicular to the floor. And so are your arms, right? Your arms are nice and straight. They're nice and vertical. And so nice and easy, come down, take a break, and that's it. So that's a lot of triceps and a lot of shoulder stability there. It's a pretty tough move, but you have options. You can come up and come down and do that repeatedly, or just hold. No workout is complete without squats. You know that, I know that. So let's grab our dumbbells and let's get some squats in there. So you can do this with or without weight, or maybe you can hold on to one dumbbell. So you can do this holding on to one dumbbell, and you're going to bring your glutes, make sure that chair's right behind you, your glutes to the chair. You're going to squat, stand, that's one. If you want two dumbbells, you can hold on to two right in front of the shoulders. Okay? And then you're squatting and standing. Try to push your hips back towards your chair. Tighten up the tummy. We're going for a total of 12. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Two more. 1 and 2. All right. You can also do that move without any weight whatsoever, and you can kind of pretend like you're holding a dumbbell and then squat without anything. Or maybe a water bottle. You can hold on to a water bottle. That's fairly light. So totally up to you on that one. You have options. Now we're going to use our chair. You're going to hold on to one dumbbell. We're going to work on our rows. This is a great move for your posture. So you have options of where you want to grab onto on your chair. You can grab the arm bar, place your hand on top of the arm bar, or you can turn the chair and have your hand on the seat of the chair. It's totally up to you. For me personally, because I'm a little taller, that seat of the chair is a little too low for me. So I'm going to go a little higher up on the arm bar of the chair. So, left hand, I'm starting off with my left hand. on top of the arm bar. My left leg is forward. My right hand is holding onto the dumbbell. My right leg is back. And from here, I'm going to pull that dumbbell right towards my hip and then right back down. We're going to go for 12 on these. That's 2. Bring it to your hips. 3. Right around that pocket area. 4. Flex the stomach. Keep your back nice and straight. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. You're almost there. 2 more. 1. And 2. All right. Other side. It's a great move for the shoulder, this back muscle that's around the ribs. Great for the posture too. So, moving on to the other side. So now that I'm on my left arm, my left leg is going to be back. My right leg is forward and my right hand is on the chair. That left arm is starting off just hanging straight down, perpendicular to the floor. And then I row and bring the weight to my hip. I'm bringing it to my left hip pocket. And we just pull and row. Keep that core nice and tight. That's 4. Flat low back. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. One more. 12. All right. Moving on to the other dumbbell. We're going to grab 2 now. So, this move is a little challenging. Okay, the Romanian deadlifts. It's a weird name, but let's go for it. So it's a lot of coordination. It's a lot of body control. But it's such a good move. It's probably one of the more challenging moves to do though, but it's great. And I'll break it down for you. So shoulders are up. We shrug, right? So we want to lift the shoulders up and shrug. Then move your shoulders back and then let them sink down. And now they should be locked. And then your hands should be right next to the sides of your legs. Your feet are hip width apart. And then from here, we're going to bend from the waist, or bow from the waist. And we keep the hands close to the legs on the way down. Push out your hips as you come down. Don't bend your knees too much, just a little bit of a bend in the knees. Push through the heels, come up. Right, so we bow, keep your shoulders back. Bow from the waist, hands stay close to the legs, feel the weight on the heels. Just a little bend in the legs. Do not squat. This isn't a squat. Okay, we are working on the hamstrings. So you should feel a nice little stretch in the back of your thigh, your hamstrings. And so push out your hips, bow forward, keep the hands close to your legs, and then come up. And you're just coming down as far as you're comfortable with. Tighten up the tummy. Right? Once you start to feel that good stretch, work through the range of motion, come down as far as you're comfortable with, and then come up. So your hamstrings will let you know when to stop. Okay? And keep your shoulders back. Push out the hips as you come down. Keep that flat low back. So it's a lot of control. Shoulders back. Weight on the heels. Hands stay close to the thighs. Strong core. And you have to really think about your posture. Right? So be careful. Go slow. Take your time. Keep those shoulders back. Tighten up the tummy. Then bow forward from the waist. And we're going for 12. This one's 8. 4 more to go. Push out the hips, keep the weight close to the legs, feel it on the heels, tight tummy, push through the heels as you come up and you bring the hips forward. So the hips really are a major role player in this one. As you come down, you've got to push out your tailbone and then bring in the tailbone, bring in the hips as you stand up. 2 more. Push out the hips, get a good stretch, come up. Last one. Push out the hips, get a good stretch, and come up. All right. Moving on. Let's work on some calf raises. We're going to use a chair. The back of the chair. Or if you need something taller, if you have a ledge that's taller or a tall chair, you can use that. If something's a little too low, you just don't want to be bending forward to do this exercise. You want to try to be as vertical as possible with your entire body, because all we're focusing on is raising the heels. Both heels at the same time, your feet are about hip width apart. And we're going to go beyond 12 on this one. We're actually going to go for 30. So that's 3, 4, 5. Now as you lift, bring your weight inward towards your big toe. 7, 8, 9. The knees can be bent a little bit. That's fine. Not a big deal. Just try to lift as high as you can and squeeze those calves. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On this last one, stay up and hold it. Stay there. Your calves are a major role player in walking. We got to make sure our calves are strong. And they help with stability and balance as well. Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. All right. Back to the beginning. So first move, bicep curl. Back to it. 2 dumbbells. So from here, stand nice and tall. Have a good support in the legs and feet, whatever feels comfortable. A little bend in the knees is totally fine. Posture's tall, shoulders are back, tight tummy, palms facing in. Let's bring the weight up to the shoulders. And again, we're going for 12, 2, 3, suck in the stomach, 4, 5, stand tall, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 2, and 1. All right. Moving on to that chair hold. So we're actually forming the shape of a chair with our own bodies. All right, so get your hands into position, either on the side of your chair, the seat of your chair, or towards the front. Again, your fingers are hanging off the sides, and they're either pointing to the side or they're pointing to the front, wherever is most comfortable for you. Bend those knees. Make sure those heels are underneath your knees. And then we lift up and hold it. If it's tough to hold, you come down and then come up and hold it for as long as you can and then come down. Right? So that's kind of how you're working it if it's a challenge. And we're just trying to give your shoulder strength and stability without really any type of movement. Unless you're going up and down and you need those breaks, but that's okay. We're just trying to develop that strength without having to do any kind of overhead pressing. And sometimes overhead pressing can be a little problematic for shoulders, so that's why we're not doing it today. Just giving you another way to build that shoulder strength without having to push weight up above our head. Continue to hold, right? Get those thighs parallel to the floor. Your spine is vertical, right? Core is nice and tight. Arms are nice and strong. Let's hold it for 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Goblet squats. So the goblet squats, you're just holding on to it in front of your body. Either you're holding on to nothing at all, or a dumbbell, one dumbbell or two dumbbells. So you have options. You can do body weight exercise on the squat, or you can do the dumbbell setup. Either one or both. Totally up to you. Make sure that chair is close and behind you. We're going to go for 12. Get low, get your bum all the way down. If you can, lightly touch the chair and stand up. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 2, and 1. Perfect. Moving on, you can put one dumbbell down. We're going to do our one arm row using our chair for a little support. So I'm going to start with my right arm, right leg back, left leg forward, left hand on top of that chair. Let's get right into it. Make sure your back is flat and your core is engaged. Pull that weight right to your hip pocket and right back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 1, and 2. Okay. So just switch sides. I'm going to go and turn the chair over to the other side, or move the chair to the other side, so that way you can get a good visual. Left arm working now, so left leg back, right leg forward, right hand on top of the chair. Arm is hanging straight down, back is flat, lower back, tight tummy. Pull in towards the hip pocket, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, flex that stomach, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice. All right. Moving on, grabbing the second dumbbell, and we're going to do our Romanian deadlifts. I'm going to call them D-lifts. I don't like saying that word dead around here. So we're going to focus on our shoulders first. Lift up, come back, and then let them sink down. And they should feel nice and secure. Your shoulders should feel nice and secure. Feet are hip width apart. Tighten up the stomach, a little bit of a bend in your knees, and then bow forward from the waist. Trying to keep your hands close to the legs on the way down, pushing out your hips as you bend forward. Coming up, keep those shoulders back and keep that core engaged. Bow from the waist, just a little bend in the knees. That's 3. Push out the hips, hands stay close to the legs. 4, tight tummy, suck in that stomach. 5, push out the hips, get that good stretch in the back of the legs. 7, feel the weight on the heels as you come down. 8, really push out your tailbone. Keep those hands close to the legs. 9, 10. Good. Last one. 12. All right. Moving on. Calf raises. So grab your chair or stand behind your chair or whatever it is that you want to use. We're going to raise those heels off the ground again, working on those calves. Again, we're going for 30. Lift as high as you can. Come right back down. A light touch on the floor and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Really feel the weight going inward. 13 towards the big toe as you lift. So try not to let your feet roll out to the side. 16. 20, 10 more. Lift as high as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On this last one, let's stay up and hold. I want to hold it for 10 seconds, but really make sure you're feeling that weight inward towards the big toe, right on the big ball, or that big bone. Hold it. Maybe another 5 more seconds. Give it a little extra lift through your heels. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Let them come down and have a seat, and let's finish with our core. If you have a light dumbbell, grab one now, or even a water bottle. So something fairly light. And we're going to finish with our core. Have a seat in your chair. You're going to have your legs extended out in front of you. And you're going to hold on to the dumbbell in one hand. So again, light, really light. 3 pounds or less, okay? Maybe 2 pounds. Because we want to start light, and if you want to go heavier later you can. So we're going to bring the weight here to your shoulder first. Arm is bent, elbows in tight to your ribs. Sit as tall as you can. Legs are extended out, and they're going to stay there. The legs are still. Start to lean back, and hold it here. So come back as far as you're comfortable with. If you're feeling some lower back discomfort, sit a little taller. Okay, so wherever that position is for you, you should be feeling that core engagement no matter where you are. Here's the challenge with the dumbbell. It's going to be a little tough. And that's why we want to go light. So if you can, you're going to move the weight a little bit outside the body, come back, transfer it, move the weight outside the body, come back, transfer. And you're holding the reclined position, and your legs are staying straight. And as the weight goes out, you should feel that same side of your core working. So as my right arm is out, I really feel my right side working of my core. The same thing, as I go to the left, I feel that left side really lighting up and working. So we're working on stabilization with that weight moving outside of our center of gravity. So it really challenges your core. And if the weight's too heavy, go really, really light, or just don't hold on to anything and just use your arm weight. And that's fine too. And whatever's comfortable with your hand, right? So as you extend out, whatever hand position you want, whether you want to keep palm down, palm in, neutral, totally up to you. Whatever feels good. So make adjustments in the weight. Let's take a little breather. Adjust. Do you need to go heavier? Do you need to go lighter? Is your lower back hurting? So if these things are happening, you need to make adjustments. If your back is hurting, sit a little taller. If your back is hurting when you extend out with the weight, lighten up the weight. All right. Make those adjustments. Let's get through one more round. We're going to go for 20. which is 10 on each arm, to the left and to the right. So we're going to go for those exchanges, 20 total. Legs out, sit tall, pick a side to start with, start to lean back. Find your position that you can handle, right? We don't want any lower back discomfort, so figure out that position right away. From here, tighten up the core. Let's go for it. 1, come back, other side, switch the weight to the other hand. 2, come back, switch the weight. 3, come back, switch the weight. 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep that core nice and tight, especially when you move that weight out to the side. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are almost there. Stay with it. 13. Keep sucking in that stomach. 14, 15, 16. We're so close. Keep it going. 17, 18, 19. One more time. Last one. And 20. Good job. Bravo. Good work. All done. Let's finish with some quick stretches. Real quick. Figure 4 stretch. Put a little pressure into that leg if you can. Or if you don't need to and you kind of need to lean back and this is a good enough stretch for you, this is another option as well. You can totally do this where you lean back and just cross your leg. Sometimes this is just enough for people. Sometimes it might be a little too much. If it is a little too much, you just cross the legs and bring the foot down a little lower, as opposed to having that foot right on top of the thigh. If you need more and you want to increase your flexibility and range of motion, then you lean into it and you use your arm on that knee and you push down towards the floor. Let's switch sides. You can also cross at the ankles too. If crossing at the knees is too much, you can also cross down below. It also depends on your hips. Everyone's different. So I feel this side, my right side is always stiffer than my left. So I'm going to spend a little extra time on my right side. Doesn't really, it's just kind of how it is. It seems like the more I stretch on my right, it's slowly catching up, but it's slow to catch up. So I have to spend a little extra time on the right side. So if you started with your least flexible side first and you felt it right away, and now you're on the more flexible side, let's go back to the side that gives you the most problems. Or the most challenge, I should say. So if your flexibility is really tight on the right, go to the right. If it's on the left, let's go back to it. So we're going to spend a little extra time on the tighter side. So let's go for maybe another 15 seconds on this side. Give it a good stretch. All right. So for these last 2 stretches, we're going to stand and we're going to use our chair. So we're going to work on the calves. So both hands on the chair, or you can even get your hands on the wall. You're just going to step back and drive the heel down to the floor. So the back leg is straight, front leg is bent and it's really supportive. Hands are on the chair, and then you're just trying to drive the heel, that back heel, down to the floor, and then both feet are pointing straight ahead. And so you're kind of using the chair or the wall or whatever you have your hands on as a little bit of leverage to push away from that object and to help you get the heel down to the ground. You should be feeling a really good stretch in the back of your lower leg, the calf, right behind the shin. Switch sides. So now the other leg is forward, the other leg is back. Now that back leg is straight. Feet are pointing straight ahead. Drive the heel down. Just hold. Nice and easy. Come out of that. Now our last stretch is to help with shoulder mobility. For people who struggle to bring those arms above your head, you're going to use your chair or maybe something a little taller to have your hands on top of. And you're going to back up away from the chair and widen your stance, widen your feet. And then from here, your hands are on top. So you're in a little bit of a squat. Now the challenge is holding that squat with the legs and then bringing your head down in between the arms and squatting. So it's a pretty challenging stretch. But you can see that technically my hands are above my head. Even though my spine and my arms are parallel to the ground, it's stretching this whole latissimus dorsi area, my lats, my back muscle, so that I can improve my range of motion when I stand up. So if I were to keep my arms fixed and stand up from here, watch what happens. My arms are still above my head, so it's helping that range of motion. If it's too tough to do on the chair, which it can be, you can do it on the wall as well. Hands on top of the wall, and then you can lean into it and bring that head towards the wall. And that's another variation of it. Some of you may have taller chairs, and that'll help out as well. This is a little low for me. So if you have a low chair, it can be challenging. So maybe find something a little taller to do it on. A wall is great, actually. You can have your hands on top of the wall and do that same thing where you're strong and supported through the legs. It's almost like you're being put under arrest, right? Get your hands on the wall, spread your legs. But of course, I don't know anything about that. So push the hips back. And then you just drop the head down. And so it just helps with that range of motion. So that it's easier, hopefully a little easier. I mean, it's not a one-time fix. It takes a little bit of time to constantly work on it. And that's it, guys and girls. We are all done. Bravo, a lot of strength today. But that's it. Thanks for joining. Good job. I'll see you guys next time. Good work.